If you're someone who works a 9 to 5 job right now and you want to build an online business that gives you freedom and you have a goal to make over $10,000 a month, in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact frameworks that took my case study to over $10,000 a month, actually over $16,000 a month just a couple months ago to end 2025. So if you're someone who's interested and has that same goal, I'm going to share exactly how you can get there. I'm going to show you a roadmap right here with everything that you need at every stage, including Google Sheets and frameworks for how to measurably make progress this year, because I just did it last year. Happy New Year's, everybody. So the goal of this video, in line with the theme of New Year's resolutions, is we're going to not only set a goal, but I'm going to show you how to attain a goal. Okay, because any newbie can set a goal. Yeah, I want to make 10K a month in 3 months, blah, blah, blah. And the same people fall off a couple weeks into the year and they're nowhere to be seen by February. This is the exact opposite of that, because in last year, what I did is I took my faceless case study right here and I scaled it from $1,000 a month, I believe, at the beginning of 2025 to over $16,000 a month by November of that same year. So basically, in this video, I'm going to share with you the exact tools and frameworks that I use to achieve this. That said, the first thing I want to say is I've actually just created a brand new free training. This is my first free training in years, and I think that this is the most important 1-hour training that I've ever created, where I'm going to reveal my $10,000 a month affiliate operating system. This is the exact system showing this income report of over $16,000. And basically, I'm going to break down every single one of these income streams. I'm going to reveal them, and you're going to see why this is 80% passive income. And the coolest part is I spent $0 on paid ads as a single person business with no employees, all while working less than 10 hours per week. So that is going to be the first link in the podcast and in the YouTube video description. You have to go watch that. Okay, that's the most important thing to watch today, aside from this video and this podcast. Go watch this right after that, and then you get to see more behind the scenes. Okay, now the second thing is we are actually making changes to our school community. We are dropping the price down from $97 a month down to $49 a month, so more people can join, more people can basically be part of this awesome community where we have some great resources here as well. And you basically get to learn from other peers, and we have monthly live streams where I'm in there, I'm answering questions. So I'm doing multiple live streams every single month, answering people's questions, and you get to hear from actual successful clients of mine who are earning anywhere from $4,000 to over $8,000 a month. It's an awesome community. Make sure you check that out. That's also going to be linked in the description below. Now let's dive into talking about goal setting, how to actually hit your goals for the year. Okay, so like I said in the intro, goal setting, you can watch other videos about that, but basically goal setting is the easy part. My advice would be write down your goals and to revisit and review your goals every single morning. Okay, that's going to inspire you, that's going to fire you up. But the truth is, to get to your goals, you have to have some measurable progress. Okay, because just setting a goal, which is actually what I do here in my framework. So in the YouTube video, I am showing on screen this Google Sheet, okay? And this is using the 12-week year framework. There's a book, The 12-Week Year, and basically what it does is it divides the year up into quarters, okay, like Q1, Q2, Q4. Now, that's a concept that most people get. But basically, when we break things down to 12 weeks, we're able to set targets and goals. Like in this example, we set a goal to grow this website to $100 a month. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but that's because this is a brand new website that I just created that's currently at around $20 per month. And I want to grow it to $100 a month. So I'm setting that goal to hit that by March 31st. Okay. But in order to hit that goal, we have to break it down into what are the effort-based goals that will get us to $100 a month. Because it's one thing to set that goal, but to actually hit that, we have to do these other things like get traffic. How do you get traffic? Well, you create more online real estate through blogs, YouTube videos, etc. Okay. So in this example right here, I broke it down into 4 tactics that's going to help get us to that $100 a month. The first one is publishing 3 blog posts per week. That is by far the easiest and most safe way, is to just add more content. Most people are not publishing enough content, whether that be on YouTube or whether that be on their blog. Okay. I mean, it could be any platform. It could be TikTok. It could be Instagram. Most people are not doing enough content. That's the first thing. Now, in this real example, we've actually published 4 out of the 36 for the 3 months. And that gets us 11% of the way there. So you can see I did a little bit of this color conditional formatting. I like to just, fancy it up a little bit just to give me a little more motivation. This gets more green as you get closer to 100% of your goal. So the other tactics that I have are reposting each blog on Pinterest. That's a way to get more efficiency per post, because one mistake is that, people, they will create content. They'll spend a lot of time making a blog post or a YouTube video, but they won't spend any time marketing that blog post or YouTube video. Okay. And there's many ways to market it by reposting it on other platforms or repurposing the content or snippets of the content, right? Turning it into tweets, for example, right? Now, the other thing is creating one TikTok or YouTube short per week. We set a goal of 12 of those, during this 12-week plan. And then we have publishing the first YouTube long form video. Okay. And we only have a goal of one of those in this 3 months. And it's like, okay, why only one video? Well, you want to be realistic about your goals. This is a brand new brand. This is not the, $16,000 a month brand that I share in the free training. This is a brand that's using the same affiliate operating system, but it was only started at the end of last year. And like I said, it's at $20 a month, which is pretty good, but it's a baby, right? So we haven't done any YouTube there yet. We're just doing blogs. I want to establish basically having 30 high quality posts by the end of February. And then the plan is to attack YouTube by starting that after the website has some traction. It already has traction, but to give it even more of a foundation, right? The data I get from my website tells me what are the YouTube videos and the keywords that could translate pretty well, because basically whatever's selling well on the website, a certain product category, I could probably make a YouTube video and just double up and then, take that and combine those together for some synergy. Okay. Now, let me show you the other Google Sheet framework I have here. This is an actual content calendar, right? So this content calendar is actually just for 1 month. It's from the end of December to January 31st. I actually removed the keywords here just to show you a clean template. But basically the way it works is we list out the date of the week, and we're trying to do 3 blogs a week. So we have space for 3 keywords. So we put every single keyword here. And what we're going to do is simply just work on the blog. And we have columns here to say the status, whether it's in progress, it's, being written, it's ready to, edit or be reviewed, or it is published, it's done. Okay. And we've actually published 4 blogs for this brand already this month. Well, with the end of December included. And yeah, so basically, this is a content calendar so that every single week we know exactly what we're doing. And so these 2 tools right here are going to get you making measurable progress. Most people don't have this level of organization, and that lack of organization and discipline is what's keeping you from reaching your goals. Now, let me show you this roadmap here. And I made a video, I think it was last year, about the journey from $0 to $10,000 a month. And what's interesting is looking back at this whiteboard right here, and I have a bunch of these blocks, and basically we have every phase from 0 to your first sale to $10 a day to $30 a day, $100 a day, and $330 a day. That's $10,000 a month. Now, what's interesting is we did smash past that goal of $10,000 a month. But what's interesting is I'm looking back at this, and you genuinely don't even need half of these things to get to a goal like 10K a month. If you can just do a few things great, then that can get you to your goal. That's the interesting thing, because, one example is if we look at all the different social media platforms, right? If people are pursuing like doing TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, YouTube Shorts, everything, and a website, a blog, a podcast. Look, at the end of the day, you only need one of those platforms to go from 0 to 10K a month. That's the honest truth, right? We see YouTube channels where they have millions of subscribers. They only have YouTube as like their main business, and that's all they need to make millions of dollars. It's the exact same thing with websites. There are websites out there that I studied last year that I use as a model for the affiliate operating system. And honestly, these websites were making over $1 million a year just from ads. Forget about affiliate, that's bonus on top. But just from ad revenue, from Mediavine or Raptive or some kind of high-end premium ad network, okay? So interestingly, when you look at this, you only need 1 or 2 strong platforms. And for me, I think that the website is still such an amazing driver of revenue. And you'll actually see in the free training, we're making thousands of dollars just from ads, not even from affiliate. right? Now, we are making thousands of dollars from affiliate on top of that, but imagine you were making money just from people visiting your website, viewing your content. It's the same thing with YouTube, although YouTube pays less, right? YouTube AdSense pays around $2 to $3 on average per 1,000 views. If you get into a premium ad network with your website, they can pay $40, $50, $60 per 1,000 sessions. That's basically a unique visit. And that's the numbers we were seeing in this previous Q4 that just happened. And that's how we were able to hit this, $16,000 a month. Okay. So basically, the reason why the free training and the way we're doing things this year that's different is we are shifting the business model in a way. Okay. What we're doing is we're diversifying the income streams. And what this is allowing is it's opening up our business to being more robust and diverse. Because, first of all, 5 income streams versus just one. If you only try to do affiliate and you're trying to get to 10K a month, it's pretty hard. It's definitely possible. I've done it many times and I have students who've done it as well and achieved that. But think about it. If you're able to also make money from people just visiting your website or viewing your YouTube videos, right? Those are 2 additional income streams that can help you get to that 10K a month much faster. So when I'm looking at this roadmap, what's different to me? It starts with the $0. It starts with a broke mindset. And this is actually one of the biggest shifts that I'm making personally in my business as well. And that is I'm no longer selling any courses. I have stopped selling courses. Okay. Now I'll make another video that's probably going to dive in deeper into that. But there's cliff notes is courses at the end of the day, even though I've gotten some amazing testimonials, they mostly don't work. How many of us have purchased a course or a book even, maybe read the first 10 pages or watched the first couple lessons and just never touched it again, right? I'm guilty of it. We all are. We've all been there because information is not the problem, right? Information is free. Information is abundant, but the problem is the execution and the implementation, right? So basically, I'm moving away from courses because at the end of the day, I want to help people get more results. And for me, it starts with the 0 right here with the infrastructure. I realize something where I heard a quote that if you want to learn to drive a car, you don't need to learn how to build an engine, right? And so I actually realized that the analogy there was, driving the car is like doing affiliate marketing, creating content, making online real estate that is evergreen and that makes you money, gets you sales, attracts buyers, right? Now, building the engine is all the boring stuff that goes with it. So whether it's setting up your website, and I have heard countless stories, and unfortunately, that's even from some of my students who they are working on their website way too long, right? They're in that coming soon phase for their website for like 6 months. And it's like, that is not getting you any sales. Now, is the website important? Absolutely. If there's something I learned from studying over $70 million affiliate websites and blogs last year that I use as the model to create the affiliate operating system, if there's one thing I learned, there's patterns in the most successful affiliate brands. There's patterns in not only their websites, but also their YouTube channels and their content. And I use all of that, synthesize the affiliate operating system, which I honestly believe is the most beautiful business model and vehicle that I've created, where it is the ultimate freedom. Because when we're talking about passive income, it starts with affiliate marketing because affiliate marketing is just so beautiful. Okay. Just a quick side note, I was asking Google Gemini, how much does a fast food franchise like Subway make per month in profit? Profit is the most important number. Like revenue is one thing. I know they make a lot of revenue because they sell a bunch of sandwiches, but there's also a lot of expenses, right? Especially if you're a franchisee and you have to, pay all these other fees aside from, just the cost of goods sold and the labor and everything, right? Not to mention all of that headache of having to manage people and employees and hiring and stuff like that. I've created a business here that netted roughly close to that $16,000 in profit because our expenses are like $30 a month for the website, $12 a year for the domain. I use an iPhone, okay? An iPhone camera to make faceless YouTube videos. A YouTube channel is free. That's it. So take those expenses and that lack of overhead and subtract that from the $16,062. And I mean, it's almost all profit, especially once you see these income streams. Obviously, things like ads, affiliate, that costs nothing to join. It costs nothing to run, right? Yeah. And just to answer that question. So Google Gemini said that, the average profit per month for like a Subway franchise is like, it's as low as 2.5K to 6.5K on average. Okay. And, that's crazy because this case study, which I did part-time, last year, almost for fun, to be completely honest, I didn't expect it to blow up this much. But the fact that this is more profitable and it's less effort and there's no employees here, I mean, this is a superior vehicle if you want freedom over everything. Forget the money aside for a second here, but the profitability and the fact that it's evergreen and it separates your time from money. You wake up, you check your accounts like Mediavine, and you see, oh, I made $600 yesterday from ads. That's a crazy feeling. And I want other people to experience that. And I've had clients who, they've copied the affiliate operating system. They've installed it and they're making over $8,000 a month. And I have an interview with one of my clients, Tyler, who's doing that. That's coming out next week. Absolutely, you have to watch that video. It's going to be a banger, okay? But this system is so beautiful, okay, the way it's designed. Now, going back to this roadmap, it really starts with the infrastructure. If you're spending time on like being a web designer or a web developer and you're not focusing on the job, the one job that generates sales, which is creating high quality affiliate content that attracts buyers, that is it. It is so simple. But when you're trying to juggle all of these hats, okay, of being a web designer, a web developer, a WordPress expert, a performance expert, a security admin, you're not doing the job. You're not doing the one thing that actually moves the needle. Now, when I go back to my 12-week plan, what moves the needle? 3 blog posts per week. And not all blog posts are created equal. You can easily crank out 3 crappy blogs per week and get nowhere after 1 year. I've seen plenty of sites like that as well. So just doing the effort without having an actual proven template for a money-making blog template or a money-making product review, okay? You need to have all the pieces right, because when you show up on the first page of Google, whether that be a blog, whether that be a YouTube video, you're competing with real people and brands who are professionals. So honestly, if you're just getting started in 2026 and you have no skills, it's a skill game at the end of the day. Like being good at SEO, being good at YouTube, these are skills you just learn. You learn how to do video editing. You learn how to do your title, your thumbnail, your packaging, right? These are all skills that you learn over time, and everybody starts out bad. But if you're specifically starting out 2026 and you have no skills and no experience, you are behind the ball just based on the math. How many YouTube channels, how many websites out there that have been doing this, or they got started last year and they're already rolling? Now, what's interesting is in my free training, I actually share more about my YouTube case study, my faceless YouTube case study that in 9 months went from 0 to 16,000 subscribers and over 3.6 million views. And that really opened my eyes to the beauty of the affiliate operating system and the opportunity. You can start a YouTube channel 9 months ago in March 2025, which is what I did, and have a YouTube channel that has over 10,000 subscribers. And it's not just me. I actually have clients who went from 0 to over 10,000 subscribers in a similar time frame of about 8 to 9 months in 2025. So it's just interesting to me, in a time that theoretically is the most competitive, how are we able to stand out in such a noisy world? And I go back to this roadmap here. I really think that all this beginning stuff right here, you need to have all of it. You have to have a niche that's dialed in, that one, it's profitable. Most niches can be made profitable, but the real question is, can it be profitable for you? And does your background lend itself to you having advantages in your niche? Okay. And this is just something that you just have to work one-on-one with someone with experience like me, because I do niche workshops where we break this down and we try to dial in the proper niche for each of my clients. And I'll tell you, it's not magic and it's not something that you can just automate. Like, you literally just have to work through it. But the better you get at choosing a niche that's both profitable and aligned with your specific background and your skills, it's easier for you to make more money, gain more trust, gain more authority faster. Authority is one of those secret, X factors for 2026 and moving forward in the ranking signals. I mean, authority is just important as a user, as a customer. If I'm watching a YouTube channel or I'm visiting a website and they don't have any authority, then it's hard for me to buy something if I don't trust the person behind it, or I don't trust the brand behind it. And it's not about face versus faceless, because my case study, this one, $16,000 a month, is faceless, right? It's more about demonstrating demonstrating that you have expertise. And you don't have to be an expert on day one. I'm sure Tyler will tell you in our interview that, he was not an expert in his niche. His niche doesn't have anything to do with his day job. But over time, you should aim to try to become a domain knowledge expert so that you can make content easier and it can be more authoritative. It really, really helps. Okay. But all of these matter: your niche, your branding, okay, the platforms that you're making your content on. The keyword research is huge. This one is just, I can make all the tutorials in the world. And this goes back to courses, right? I can make every single great step-by-step, click-by-click tutorial that's excellent, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to gain the muscle memory to do this job instantly. It doesn't just transfer from you watching a video. Think about anything in life. Like if I watch someone teach piano, for example, it takes muscle memory and repetition and practice for me to actually get good at the piano. It's not just watching someone play the piano and explain the technique. It's not that easy. There's muscle memory. So honestly, going back to the concept about courses and everything, for me, I would rather just do the job and give the infrastructure to someone so that they can just drive the car. Whether we're talking about the website, the layout, the plugins, etc., whether we're talking about the content templates or the content calendar of what to write about, what product categories to do, what niche to do, right? You got to just let someone like me handle that, because to be honest, you're just going to get more results faster than trying to DIY. Again, information is free, but why are people not succeeding with this business if information's free? I mean, it's because implementation is the real problem. Execution, discipline, accountability, that's the real problem. People are not committed to taking this business seriously. And even if they are, they're spinning their tires because they're missing some key, crucial, foundational ingredients that are part of the infrastructure. And again, I studied over 70 of the most successful affiliate blogs, brands, websites, and a lot of these are just one person. Okay. Some of them have expanded to having a team of writers, etc. But the reality is they all are professional. They all have a certain look and feel and structure, and that's why they get the results that they get. I literally just copied what I saw. And here's the thing, like, just because, you see a website that's successful, it doesn't mean that you can just copy it just from looks alone. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. And it does help that I am a WordPress expert. So if I do see something visually, I can copy it, pretty easily, but that's not the whole story. That's not how you get to 16K a month, by just copying a theme. It doesn't really work like that. You need to have every single foundational ingredient put together, and there's stuff under the hood that you don't see, which is why they are successful. Okay. Looking back at this, the other factor I will say is really not having that real world data or the feedback. Feedback is so important, especially if you're not making sales. If you're not making sales and you're being consistent and you're showing up, honestly, there's probably something you're doing wrong. That's it. I mean, I have stories and I have, so many experiences where someone's been trying something for a year, 2 years. They don't have any sales. And they show me their website, and I, in 5 minutes, I can just pinpoint what they were doing wrong, that if you had fixed that a year ago, who knows where you'll be today. That's how this business works. It's a business where a lot of people are trying to do trial and error for mistakes that so many people have already made before you. Like, it's not really rocket science, but you do need to have the knowledge and the experience, because it could be one little technical SEO mistake, right? Something that you're doing wrong with your H1 titles, okay? Something that you're doing wrong can trip you up for not showing up in the right keyword or for the right buyer that you're trying to attract. And yeah, it's just, there's so many little things in this business that can trip you up. That is the brutal reality. It's like, you can do this business for a long time and not make any money, or you can do this business for a short time and make a ton of money. Those are two sides of the exact same coin that I see. And, for me, I think in 2026, the fastest path is you partner with an expert like me who has a winning, proven template and infrastructure. And basically, if you can just get the car and get the turnkey business that's already proven at 10K a month and beyond, and then you can just focus on content, that's the start of your race. I mean, that's literally where the race actually starts, is like your first blog post and getting from your first blog to your first 50. Or if it's YouTube, your first video, and then getting into that rhythm of one a week and then growing to that first 1,000 subscribers. That is the climb. That is where the race actually begins. You know what I mean? Because you don't even get AdSense monetized on YouTube unless you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time last time I checked. So, the race to actually earn money doesn't even start until later, but a lot of people are missing so many fundamental foundational things that are going to make your life so much harder on the road to 10K a month. All right. So looking back at this, one thing that I will say is that, expanding to YouTube, I put here that expanding to YouTube will get you from the $1,000 a month to the 3,000 to 10,000. Honestly, if you started YouTube even earlier, that can get you to your first sale faster. That can get you to your first $10 a day, $300 a month faster. Okay. So I would actually move this back. I would move this as early as possible, but I do like to establish the website, the boring blog website, which is harder to master than YouTube in terms of like technical SEO and stuff. There's so much technical stuff with the website. Okay. Now, if you want that handled for you, definitely check out the free training, check out the affiliate operating system, because that is a new thing that I'm offering, is to install a 10K a month proven system for you in 2026 that's proven right now. It's super, super relevant, super fresh. I mean, it literally just did 16K a month 2 months ago. So that said, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope I was able to give you some proper inspiration and just helping you set your sights correctly, okay? Because this 10K a month, it's not rocket science. It's not like this magic thing. It's honestly broken down into a system, because the system is repeatable, it's predictable. My goal for this year is to create another brand following the exact same system that went from 0 to 16K a month and bring this one to 10K a month within this year. Okay. And you can see a little snippet of some of the things that we're doing here, but there's a lot more that I haven't shown in this video that makes up the affiliate operating system. But essentially, think about building a long-term vehicle and the right vehicle to get you to your goals, whether that's, making the 10K a month, but more importantly, what's the vehicle that separates your time from money, okay? Because that's the only way that you get true freedom, is when you have a machine that's making passive income for you while you're asleep. So I hope this was inspiring for you. It is the start of a new year. Every year, there's this quote at the beginning of the race: you have the pretenders and the contenders. All right, which one are you? Are you a pretender or a contender? Honestly, take the free training, become a contender this year. Take action today, get started, because by the end of the year, you can completely change your life if you commit, if you are disciplined, and you show up every single day. I promise you it's possible. I've seen it, I've done it, and I know that you can too. All right. If you enjoyed this, like the video, leave a comment below, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll catch you again next video.